What's up, folks? It's Ty Cole here in the building with another episode of With Love with Ty Cole. And I got family in the building today, okay? They are legit the epitome of love and hard workers both at the same time. They're analytical. They both earth signs. Take that for what you will. We got Naturi and two in the building, man. What's going on?
What's up?
How y'all feeling?
I feel great. Good to be here.
You know, I want to say y'all have been a pivotal part of my journey. And I don't even think y'all realize. And I actually... Where's my phone at? Can you guys have my phone, Dante? I think it's over there. You see it? So, I don't know if you remember this, Naturi, but this was 2018.
Okay.
And this was actually my first big event.
Wow.
And I remember being in there, and I remember they were saying, yeah, Naturi's going to be here. Naturi's going to be. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. So, I'm already excited. Because I'm like, big fan. So, I remember we took this photo.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave me the best piece of advice.
I did?
You really did. So I don't know if you remember this. Let me show you.
That.
So this is us.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, wow. That must.
That was 2018.
I remember what I was wearing. And
You had
like
a little red dress or something like that. We was at this.
Hair, so I'm like, okay.
We was at some event. It was called It was something with this. I think video on demand agency called Rain or something like that.
Okay.
It was something random.
Nice.
But I remember I had just started. And I said, I'm new.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just graduated college in like May of that year.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what's a piece of advice that you would give me?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, doesn't matter how big or small the event is. You have to show up.
Yes.
Because you never know whether it's that small crowd or that big crowd that's going to continue to support you.
Yes.
And it's always been on my mind. Wow. So it doesn't matter where I go. Mm-hmm. I literally show up for people, whether it's a big event or a small event. Because that's the advice that you gave.
Wow.
If you remember that.
Oh, I didn't, but I love that. And I'm glad I told you that because it's actually very true.
Yeah.
And I live by that to this day. I mean... It's you just got to show up and show out no matter what the room is. So I'm glad I was able to give you that.
Of course.
That's awesome.
What are some things that y'all two kind of like still think about or take for yourselves and comes to advice that you have to remind yourself every day?
I think we both give each other advice because we're different personalities.
Right.
Okay.
He gives great advice that I need, and I think I
gives hard advice.
but great advice.
It's always great.
But
she gives hard advice. Like she comes and punch you in the gut, and you like.
No, it's like tough love.
Yeah, that's tough love.
Okay.
So
you just rip the Band-Aid off. You ease the Band-Aid.
Oh yeah, he's
I know how
he's gentle and
real gentle.
like he just the smoothest man I know. Very. But I'm trying to think some advice that I would say we still live by or that I think is important is that, for me, I always say, treat everyone around you well. Like, no matter if you think it's like, oh, it could be a bum on the street. It could be someone that, is a PA. You just never know. It's kind of similar to that same advice. And staying humble. I think one things we both just continue to remind each other of, like, no matter where we go, what rooms we're in, we have success, but we just we talk about humility a lot.
Right. And even in our worst times, or the times we're going through the hardest moments, we make sure that we continue to give.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that we always continue to give because you never know what's on the other side of that blessing, and so blessings are like boomerangs to me. So I always remember to roll out as much as possible.
I'm gonna have to use that one too.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I met two was I want to say it was Maury's fashion show that he did years ago.
Oh, the one the coat.
I think it was a first coat one.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember two was just so positive. Like one, he didn't even know who I was, and he was already embracing me. He was like, "Yeah, this is like my little brother now." And ever since then, every year we check in, or if I see someone on his page, I'm like, "Are you doing your thing?" And I feel like with y'all two, that's probably how God just put y'all together. Because y'all both have this softness about yourselves when it
Mm.
comes to meeting people.
Mm.
Like y'all like to pour into folks. Who I'm assuming y'all use discernment, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
But when y'all find that
Can't pour
person,
into everybody.
yeah, you can't pour into everybody.
Can't pour into everybody.
You'll burn them like this flame over here. So I feel like y'all have
And
such
she
a.
actually taught me that, though.
Yeah.
Like, not
Okay.
pouring into everybody, because I usually would. I would try to pour into anybody.
So you hold him grounded where you're like, ah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm more like the New Jersey street, like, don't be nice to everybody because everybody's not deserving of your heart and your kindness and your giving spirit. So you almost have to shield and protect yourself. He's from Atlanta, Georgia, and just
Yeah,
like
y'all
Southern gentleman.
Yeah.
But I think I do have a little bit more like protect your heart, babe.
Yeah, it's an East Coast thing. Like
Yeah, like
Jersey, New York.
play
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from East Orange, so I'll be like, who are you, why, and what? I'm
And I'm
very
just like, hey, man, I just want to help you. You know, whatever your dreams are.
So-
Let me try to help you as
No,
much as
we
possible.
can't do that.
I know, not all the time.
Yeah, don't have me catch
That's
you
what
doing it.
happens sometimes when nobody helps you get to where you got to go. You know, you never know what you can do for others. So I try to do it as much as possible. But she's like, no, we got to do this. We got other stuff. We got to plan this. So
This is why this pairing works.
yeah, that's why it works.
This is why it works. You know, speaking of that, you know, we start with this segment called Love Like Mama, and it's all things about love. So the way my mom loved was very, very, very kind of like people from Atlanta, how they love. Like she was a New York girl, but we have Southern roots.
Yes.
So she literally is so intentional
Right.
with how she likes to love things.
That's good.
So what did love for y'all both? What did love look like in your house growing up, and what part of that still lives in you today?
Ooh,
Wow.
it's funny talking about mama's love.
I
What was
know,
love?
right?
This is
I mean,
so
in
timely.
my household, love was strong. Like love was
Tough.
tough, but it was like in your face kind of love. Like,
Okay.
like my mom showed up to everything. Like she screamed my name at every event. She yelled. I remember hitting the home run and baseball, and she was jumping on the gate.
Like, that's
running the gate. Like that's my
That's
baby.
my son.
You know, that's the kind of love I got.
Very
So
proud.
I think everyone who meets my mom know that like she loves me a lot, and she always called me her miracle baby. So you know, at the end of the day, like it was very, very full of love, tough love though.
Yeah,
but love.
full of love.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And what was the second part of the question you said? And how?
Oh yeah, what part of that still lives in you?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
Like,
Part of that
still living me. I think the tough love part, like, because my wife is similar to my mom in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Yeah, she
So the
is.
saying is true. You do marry your
I
mom.
know, right?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
In a way, and
like my wife is a version of my mom, but a more refined version.
He
Like,
always said that when we
my
first
mom
started
is
dating.
like hood, you know, out the hood, real Tasha
Yeah.
in real life kind of.
Okay, so she was
Yeah,
real
yeah,
touching
yeah.
for about.
Yeah. I call her the real Medea. That's what
Okay.
like I call her
Mixed
the real
with a little
Medea.
Tasha.
Mixed with a little Tasha. So she was in the streets doing her thing.
She got a little balance.
And she like, you know, say what she want to say, how she want to say it, anytime she want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that can cut, you know, a lot of people,
Could
you
be.
know, but I know how to deal with it. But my wife is similar in a way because how she gives me advice and how she carries our household, you know, she's like that with it, you know, all the time. And I'm like, I'm used to it because I grew up like that. But
Yeah.
it kind of carried over into who I fell in love with.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, wow. I mean, he's always said that. Even when we started dating, he's like, "You kind of remind me of my mom," and I was like, "Okay." Like, but
Hope it's a good thing.
yeah, and I love his mom. My mother-in-law is amazing.
Yeah.
So okay, to answer on my side, Tu and I grew up very differently.
Okay.
I'm from East Orange, New Jersey. I grew up like in Catholic school. He went to public school. I was like the teacher's pet. I sang in all. He was probably teacher's pet too. But I was like just in everything. And my parents were married, you know, throughout my entire life. So I grew up in a very traditional household.
Okay.
Both of my parents, before my dad passed, were married for 52 years. So I
That's a
really
blessing.
they were like just such an inspiration and still are to this day. And my mom still is. But I think that the way that I saw love in my household growing up was they led by example.
Mm.
You know, I learned love by watching how my father loved my mother
Right.
and also how he loved me. you know how they say like every girl learns like how to be loved or what to expect from love from their father.
Yeah.
It is so true. Like my father, before 3LW, before I already thought I was a star because my dad was like, "You're the best. You're the next Whitney Houston."
Superhero.
No, like seriously. And so he made me believe so vehemently that my blackness was powerful, my skin, my complexion. I was the most beautiful girl, the most talented. And even if I wasn't, I really believe that because my daddy said so. So I think that that's important. So love for me was led by example. Also, I learned that love may not always be easy, but you don't give up.
Okay.
Like in a household, you know, in marriage, and my grandparents were married for 65 years, I always saw people stay together. So my version that has carried with me because even in marriage or friendships, even rocky situations, I just try my best to like find ways to fix it as opposed to jumping ship. Many people, when things get hard, they're just out.
Right.
I don't do that. I'd be like, all right, now we going through something. Let's work through it. Let's seek counsel. Like I'll just do
So
whatever.
you're solution oriented.
Yes, I think in love and relationships and that. So that's how I learned. Like relationships. I mean, particularly from my parents, you just don't give up. So that carried with me. I think in every way of my life, I just don't give up.
How do you both solve, like, let's say there's like a disagreement. How do you both make sure you guys are coming to a solution that works for you both? Because marriage is really not easy. You know, like y'all are friends.
Yes.
You know, there's romance involved. There's just so many different factors that can be up and down.
Turning into you about to have therapy today.
Yeah, I mean, this is what.
Come on,
Hey, we're on a journey.
We are on the with love with Todd. How do we resolve disagreements and try to get something for the both of us?
Yeah.
The truth is, it doesn't always work that way. There's going to be some resolves you may not get your want out of it, right?
Yeah, I think
That's a good question.
I think for me,
He just lets me win.
I prefer to now.
Why?
No, but a lot of times I have to realize or think about, does this make sense for me to try to win, right?
Or continue to
Or continue to fight. Like, what's the most important thing here, right? Is it our space and our energy, or is it me trying to win a battle? Right. And a lot of times I have to think about it as like, this isn't even worth my energy because we can be focusing on something else. Yeah. We could be focusing on the business or the kids or whatever. So I would be like, you know what?
We do a lot of interest together.
At the end of the day, babe, like, I apologize. I'm the wrong one. You know, that she's still gonna.
I don't like
that ain't enough.
Well, I don't like a I'm like, no.
Little Miss Tory. Need an apology.
I want an apology.
Yeah. She want explanation, the background, the third story from third grade, from second grade.
What if he's like, I'm sorry. Like, he's like,
okay, I guess I'll accept that. But sometimes I'm like,
she want it all. And, I'm just like, all right, sometimes I can't give you that, but sometimes I can, you know, but we do, like, I have a thing where if it is something like detrimental or like something big, you know, I ask for time. You know what I mean? So we have like 24 hours so we can come back to things where we don't be like so heated or things like that. And then we have the discussion.
Where we can both kind of reconvene at a calmer, more focused thing. Yeah. And then I'll say, I feel like we resolve problems even better now. We're at year 3, almost year 4 of marriage. Right. So
congratulations. Clap it up for that.
Yeah. On. Yeah. Black love.
Black love.
But I think also communication and reaching out to others who've done it before. Right. We have elders like Montel Jordan and his wife, Kristen Jordan, who really are mentors. And also, you know, Montel married us. I mean, they premarital counseled us. Yeah. So I look at it as like leaning on those who have had the same issues, mistakes, or have gone through problems before. So when you have disagreements, I think it's important to not only just try to fix it between yourselves, sometimes stepping away from it and having a trusted third party or mentorship or someone who can, you can lean on to give you advice, I think is important. So what I think helps us is going to, some people in our community of love,
Yeah.
and they can actually pour into us and give us the tools we need.
I think that's the key. 'Cause sometimes people will go to any friend for advice.
Yeah, you can't go.
But that friend don't really know what's going on because they're not married. So it's
Exactly.
like,
And
they'll
then
give
their
you the wrong
advice can be a little
sometimes.
skewed.
You have to
Right.
have, and one thing that we've learned, you have to have a small group.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that small group is new friends or old friends that are in similar situations that you are. So they're
Yeah.
married couples, so other couples that you can lean on. And one thing my wife always remind me is, when something's going on with either one of us, it's like, be curious.
Okay.
Be curious to why
Like what's really
you're feeling
underneath
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Be curious to why your partner is, having these issues or saying this, right? And it's
See it
not
from their lens.
exactly, and it's not about what they're actually doing,
Right.
but the actual feeling behind what they're doing. How do they feel? Do they feel left behind? Do they feel not seen? Do they feel unheard?
Yes.
Once you identify
Underappreciated or whatever.
exactly, once you identify the actual feeling and not the action, you actually can solve it because you can get to the root of it.
Okay.
He learned from some of our guests.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it sounds like
That's
I
so
may need
good.
that when it's my time.
No,
Yeah.
that's a really good one. Keep that in your toolbox.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times too, because you can get upset and not think.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can just be really impulsive. So like, one thing I have to navigate with my mom is when we would argue sometimes,
Mhm.
she would go off of emotion. And because that was the environment I was in, okay, some similarity.
Oh, no.
I mean, yes.
What, me?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm an emotional. I'm an
Yeah.
actress, so duh.
Right.
Go
Yeah.
on.
I was
Okay.
gonna say she had to learn how to step back and use logic.
Yeah. Okay.
And I
good.
had to learn that.
Mhm.
So I actually had a non-negotiable with her, like when I was an adult.
Mhm.
I was like, look, I'm tired of going back and forth arguing with you. I said,
Mm-hmm.
we argue, then we get back to it. This is a little unhealthy. Like, let's get to a place where it's like, if we really are upset, let's like take a moment. So what we did was if she did something or she said something I didn't like and it really hurt my feelings, I would tell her, I said, okay, I'm not going to talk to you for 2 days. Like, I won't call for 2 days. And the purpose was for you to sit with that and think about it and think, was the comment or was what I said worth me not talking to somebody who I care about?
Ooh.
And then she would come back and be like, you know what, I'm really sorry.
Mm.
Or even for my stuff, like if I did something or I said something, she'll come back and be like, that really hurt my feelings. And kind of to your earlier point, versus me trying to find a way to win, I'm like, okay, you know what? I said that because you said something that triggered me. However, I apologize for what I said.
Yeah.
And I will learn how to communicate a lot better. So I think that trying to, we about to be 30 in like 2 months.
You're about to be 30?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, not we.
No, I mean,
We're not about to be 30.
Y'all are about to be 29.
In a couple of months, baby.
Oh, what I'm saying, you're trying to go backwards in time, but
You know,
we all look very good though.
Black
And you
folks age
congratulations.
backwards.
Oh yeah, we are. I feel like I've been around.
I think my mom
25
is
years.
kind of similar. My mom is very similar
Yeah,
to that, right?
that's what
My mom is full emotional, right? She's not logical, right? I think you have to force her to be logical because the emotional side of her takes over.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's a good lesson of what you were doing because even with my mom, when those things happen and she gets very emotional, I have to remind her, like, hey, don't you love me? Or don't you love this person? Like, did they do something that bad for you to say that?
To react that
Or
way.
did they do something that bad for you to react that way? And she has to sit back and like think about it. And then she'll come do some loving gesture. Oh, you want something to eat?
They love that one.
It's always a good plate of food.
I would say, how did y'all parents apologize to y'all? Like, if they did something wrong?
Oh, man.
That's so funny. I feel like a lot of Black families probably can relate. I didn't hear, it wasn't a lot of, I apologize or I'm sorry. It's just, come on downstairs. I made something, or like a lot of times it was through food.
It's like food.
Through food or like an activity as a kid that you really want to do.
You
Like,
really wanna go-
you want to go to the park?
Come on, let's
or
go.
like take you somewhere cool. Trying to think. I mean, as I've gotten older, I'm trying to think. I think I remember one time my dad actually apologized to me about something he said. It kind of hurt my feelings, and he came around and was like, I didn't mean to. He said sorry, and that was like, I was
Big.
like, whoa,
Whoa.
what? But growing up, I didn't really think of it like that. It was more like I knew that they were trying to say I apologize because it was
Yeah.
making amends. So I learned actions speak louder than words. So if I show you love, you just assume that we good now.
Yeah.
My mom would, so she know we both like shopping.
Oh, okay.
So she would sometimes be like, we'll have a heated disagreement.
Mhm.
And then she would come back and be like, I got paid last week.
Oh,
And I'd be like, okay. Like I'm still tight. I'm like, I don't care, whatever.
Right.
She like, you wanna go shopping?
oh.
And I'd be like, where you wanna go?
Yeah.
And then she'll say my favorite stores, like whether it's like Gucci or something like that.
Mhm, mhm.
And she'll take me to Fifth Avenue and just spend
And
like a
just
couple
go.
bands on me, and then we'll just laugh.
Oh,
and
you were
forget
spoiled.
about
Yeah,
it.
my parents didn't do that.
different.
That's a different
You know what
kind
I
of.
mean?
I was
I don't know what you had, but
a
my
Taurus
thing was like,
mom.
Yeah.
I didn't even have Jordans, Nike. I didn't have name brand things at all growing up. It was like, you want to go to Payless? And then I got me a pair of Keds.
I mean, that's still something though. They still took the shot.
But, hey, but that's so funny.
But
Everybody's
yeah, I don't think my dad, I don't think he would ever apologize. I don't think he needed to. I don't think my parents ever needed to apologize to me. I don't think I even thought about that in a real way.
Yeah.
I just thought about it like, okay, I always led with grace
Right.
with my parents, right? Like, even though they're older, they're learning as well.
Yeah, and they've been through stuff
course.
too.
They're
Our
going through
parents are
stuff.
people before they
And
became
what is
There's
really
some
going
division.
on with I was always curious as a child, like what else is going on with them to even get us to this point.
Yeah.
And so I was always more curious, and I tried to always de-escalate whatever situation it was anyway, because I appreciated the time with them more.
I want to touch on that because they are individuals before they became our parents.
Oh my gosh.
And one thing I actually had to do 2 years ago was there's like a book out by Mel Robbins called like the Let Them Method. And
The Let
sometimes,
Them?
yeah, like the Let
Oh.
Them Method.
Okay.
And basically you have to let people be who they are
Oh, I feel like I've heard of it.
because when you meet them where they are, you're less disappointed.
Yes.
So
Oh, I wish I had figured that out like
yeah.
20 years ago.
It's a interesting thing. And
Yeah.
I had to step back, and me saying this is gonna be a question for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I had to step back and I saw my mom in 4 different ways.
Mm.
Knowing the unfortunate rough life she kind of had to endure when she was younger to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a hurt little girl
Mm.
when she would lash out as I got older. Then I saw my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw my child at the same time. Because essentially, when they're older, they do things that are like childlike.
Right.
And
Oh,
you,
yeah,
as a
you
child,
become the parent.
you are the parent. So you
Look,
guide them.
like, don't do that.
Right.
Or in certain rooms, you got to teach them how to act.
Yeah. And then the individual, the person that is still learning. So there was like 4 different ways I saw her.
Wow.
And me seeing her like that, it helped me uncover a few trauma truths about myself. So like why I'm always so quick to want to like argue back.
Mm.
I don't have to yell to be heard.
Ooh.
So I've been learning different things with myself,
Mhm.
even post her passing, like stuff that I want to unlearn to be better.
Yeah.
So what are some things that y'all have learned
Mhm.
about yourselves
Mhm.
that you had to unlearn that you probably got from your
Mm.
parents?
Ooh. We talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
It's a lot that we get from our parents. Almost, I feel like a lot of who we are
Mm.
comes from how our parents raised us or how we were parented. Do you want to go?
You can go first.
No, go ahead.
I
Feel like you're ready.
No, I wasn't ready, but it's all
Felt
good.
like you were ready.
But I think one of the things from my dad I had to unlearn is that like being there isn't just enough,
Mm.
right? Just being present isn't just enough,
Yeah.
right? Like my dad was a fantastic dad. Like I give him 120%, you know, if I can grade him. Like he's amazing. Before he passed away, and like um he was always there, but he was always working too. Like he was a provider that like he can build houses. He'll show up and, you know, make sure we got this or that, and we always went on trips. But it's like when I look at back at some of the things, I'm like, dang, he was there, but we didn't
Talk.
we didn't communicate a lot,
Mm.
or we didn't.
He was just present, but
He was
not
present.
present.
Yeah, but I always thought that was enough. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting time with him, so that's amazing. As a child, it's like that the most amazing thing in the world. But now looking back at it with my kids, it's like, dang, that's honestly not enough, right? Like, you have to be a little more active with them, you know. You gotta
Engaged.
be
Yeah.
a little more engaged. So, like, unlearning that, you know, just being there, paying the bills and providing, and that's not enough, actually. Right? That's like you have to do more. You gotta be a little more invested, right?
You gotta learn that.
Yeah, and you have to learn that, you know, and you don't know, you know, until you know.
Yeah.
I would say another thing that I had to unlearn, that I'm still learning to unlearn to this day, is like I have a trigger. Like I have a trigger when people yell at me. Right? I have a trigger when people like yell at me because my mom yelled 24/7,
Mhm.
and I left my mom's house at a young age because of how she handled me.
Mhm.
Right? And so because of the way she handled me, I don't like being handled like that. And so it's an automatic trigger when somebody does that. I automatically gotta go like I'm going wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Like I'm meeting you at the door. I'm gonna be wherever you at. I'm there with you, you know, and I don't have to be like that, right? Just because you are fiery or you're doing that, I can still be my reserved self for who I want to be
Yeah.
and handle the situation differently.
Mhm.
And so I'm still learning how to navigate that, but that's something I'm actively like wanting to make sure I do, because I don't want people to take me from who I genuinely am, just because that's a learned trait. Because I seen my mom do it so much. As soon as something wrong, oh, she got to jump on you. As soon as something wrong, as soon as somebody say something she don't understand, she gonna jump on you.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be the same way reacting to people like that. So that's one of the things I'm trying to.
You don't want to be reactive. You want to just be proactive.
Exactly.
How can we solve it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a problem solver. So
Yeah,
I'm,
he's naturally
always naturally
Yeah.
trying to solve everything
But
before
We
we get
need that.
Yeah.
More twos in the world.
We do. That's why I got me one.
Right.
I married him.
Go get you one of
Go
these.
get you a two.
And I had to meet the one, she
Yes, the one that got me a two.
Yeah.
The one and the two.
That's what Sherry Shepherd said. I said, that was clever, girl. That's such a great question, Ty. I think, okay, so behaviors
that you had to unlearn.
that I had to unlearn from my parents. One thing that I think, okay, so maybe it's more like this combative,
Okay.
like in battle mode,
Mhm.
always ready for like,
ready to go.
yeah, like I think combativeness
The
and
perfect gear for that.
I mean, I come out the gate like sometimes it's like waiting until you don't need to swing.
Right.
Nobody's like, and I think maybe because
Okay, Rihanna.
all right, Riri.
I love that he can't even catch that.
Oh, really? Oh, see, we could just edit that out.
Right.
But we love a little Riri.
We do.
I think that my dad, coming from a very humble, born in the Caribbean, came to this country
Right.
with very little. You always feel like you have to prove something. So I think I'm learning now, or maybe unlearning, to not always have to go into a room feeling I have to prove myself.
Yeah.
I think when you come from very little, my dad was born in the Virgin Islands in St. Croix. My nana was a nurse. They didn't have much, and then came to Brooklyn, later on in his life, and had to live in the projects and was on the streets and struggling. It was a lot of things my dad experienced that when I used to hear stories, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you spent a lot of your life fighting or surviving. And And that's interesting. But my mom has a totally different thing. Very reserved, very Southern belle from North Carolina, like just a family that was affluent Black people that had homes and money. So totally different from this like Caribbean Rasta, like roughneck, which was my dad. He was kind of a gangster. And so I think I'm learning that I don't have to always go into a space proving myself or in battle mode or like, you got to see me and fight, and that's just maybe instinctively. And then from my mom, I think I learned that it's okay to not be okay. I think I'm unlearning this whole like we have to be the perfect, like pull it all together, like act like a lady, do what you're supposed to do. And sometimes I think I subconsciously learned that I have to pretend to be okay because it's unladylike to, or to kind of be that broken. And if you're not having I think it's okay to just recognize and admit. So that's a characteristic that I think, and then parents from that era, like my parents were older.
Yeah.
I have an older brother who's 14 years older than me. So my parents were older parents when they were raising me. And I think I realized that they were just trying to teach me, like, you got to be strong. You got to push through. You got to be the best. And I am very competitive. And
Right.
I'm also learning to calm down. And I'm going to get what's mine. I don't have to always come because God got me. So, yeah.
His hand is on both of you.
Amen.
That's why life has been so amazing for y'all. It's just
Thank
been
you.
fluid.
Thank you.
Before I wrap this segment up, I do want to ask you this. Now, I think it's actually funny. It's a full circle moment for me.
Mhm.
So the first ever CD that I got, it was some Tower Records. I don't know if you remember Tower
I
Records.
remember Tower Records. I used to go there.
And my mom took me there and she was like, okay, you and Che, which is my older brother.
Okay.
She said, y'all get one CD. And my first CD I ever owned was 3LW.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
First CD
My
ever?
first ever CD
Wow.
was 3LW.
And I
was in there
remember when the
looking around.
CDs came out
Mhm.
with the red cover. And we used to.
Y'all had the red cover standing like this, like y'all were gangsters. And I was like, okay.
Yes. That's really cool. What an honor.
Yeah, I
Thank
remember watching them. I think it was Taina. Y'all did like the Blue My
Yes, Blue
episode.
What?
And I think that was
You're
like
one of
part
the
of y'all
people who
promo.
just randomly quoted that on
Right.
Nickelodeon. Taina.
And I was like, damn, like these girls are great. And I love R&B. So that was my
Yeah.
first CD. So do you remember y'all first CDs that y'all loved?
Ooh, my first CD. Ooh, I had tapes. See, I go a little further back. Than
Okay. What was your first tape?
My tape. It's funny. I had the tape of the single "I Want to Be Down,"
Okay.
Brandy. And I remember the cover, like on the little cassette tape, and the sleeve with her braids and the brown hat and her little outfit. And I was just like, who is this chocolate girl who's singing us down
Yeah.
and had braids like me? Because I had braids every summer. That might have been my first tape.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I had a Yolanda Adams. I
Okay.
remember a Yolanda Adams
Duality.
because I grew up singing in church at New Hope Baptist Church, and I used to have sheet music for like a lot of gospel songs.
Yeah.
And I remember getting a Yolanda Adams tape, or maybe it was a CD, I can't remember exactly, but I remember having to learn "The Battle is the Lord's." And that was one of the first kind of big solos that I sang in church. So "The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's." And Yolanda Adams, like, I used to love to sing her songs. So church music was a big part of my upbringing and my style. So R&B as well, but I loved singing in church. And if I could get like all the gospel records, I would have been learning them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you two? What was your
I guess
first?
from the South, mine is a little different. I think for me, my first record, like my actual record that I ever like wanted and just needed to have was Michael Jackson.
Okay.
It was like I was a Michael Jackson fan.
State.
I won the talent show Star Surge doing Michael Jackson when I was younger.
Okay.
Like I would love to dance and do Michael Jackson. And then the first tape I ever had was Elvis Presley.
Mm.
I used to love Elvis Presley. Actually,
Okay.
my mom bought that tape for me. I used to love dancing
That's
to
old school for
Elvis. And then, but this is way past. I think they was already past by this time. I mean Elvis was.
Yeah.
But then the first tape I ever went to buy myself was an artist named Kilo Ali.
Okay.
And he did like
Yeah, I'm like Kilo sounds
Kilo Ali,
southern as hell.
and it's
They know,
super
in Atlanta, they
south,
know.
and it's more like dancing music. 'Cause
Okay.
I used to love to dance, you know.
Okay.
And so for me, I wasn't into like all the rap and stuff yet. I used to love to like dance and like just have fun, do things like that. But my actual first CD I remember buying was Hot Boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's real sound.
Yeah, Hot Boys. Yeah, that was
Okay.
the first time I seen. Oh, okay, a little southern rap group.
Yeah.
You know, they young like me. You know, they young.
No,
they
they
age range. And I'm like,
definitely can relate.
yeah. So that was like my whole thing.
So this one's a healing question. So this one's about repairing, truth, forgiveness, becoming, and etc. Now, y'all are such a strong item together. And obviously in business, you know, you can go through different stages of grief too. Grief isn't just losing a person.
Oh no.
Like, and I think people
been
don't
going through
recognize
grief.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This gave me chills. I didn't know what I was coming for today in this interview.
Hey, it was in the EPK.
What?
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
But we
No,
getting through
you
it.
better come on. Okay, go ahead.
So, you know, when you think about some of the business decisions that y'all have went through and it kind of slipped out of your hands, or sometimes you felt like you deserved this or etc. And you fast forward to now to the project you guys have, and you guys are doing it in tandem. I mean, the new series we have on Stars. I mean, you as Tasha doing big things.
Thank
I mean,
you.
to your whole career has just been nothing but wins, and I'm sure you also suffer some losses as well. So tell me this.
See the wins.
Right. You don't always get to see those wins.
That's so funny.
So how did grieving that help you enjoy the triumph that you both have now?
Well,
Go ahead.
because you said something that made me think about, you know, grief is not just a person or
Yeah.
in business. We have, even in tandem, had to grieve different losses, things that we may have thought were good investments,
Yeah.
you know, opportunities to try to help others, and then we realized we were taken advantage of, or, you know, I mean, shooting even our first film together, our production, our short film, and being kind of taken advantage of by, you know, some people who took the money that we, like, it's just so much stuff. But we learned that together. So we had to kind of endure some of those learning pains or growing pains together. But grieving, even losses before I met my husband, before we were even an item.
Yeah.
For example, 3W was a thing that I still, even in my adulthood, was grieving. I was grieving the loss of like this dream that I had to be a recording artist, the next Whitney Houston, and or we were going to be like TLC, and I had to grieve that dream. Really felt like it was ripped from me, so it was hard for me to accept. Oh, what am I going to do now? How am I going to start over? And I think that's a lot of what I think sometimes grieving feels like. How do I start over without that? Because it's a part of your identity. So I think 3W is so much a part of my identity that it took a while for me to figure out who am I without this group. And then just like, you know, through the industry, playing Little Kim and my first movie, Notorious, different things that, you know, were wins, and then, you know, not working for 2 years after that. So I think I had some losses, but I had a lot of wins, to your point too. And then when Power came along, it was like, oh, you see me, God, you got me. Okay, I'm okay.
The show title was fitting.
I mean, power, pun intended. And it's empowering that now I have a teammate that even when I do lose, I know that we encourage each other to keep winning in the future. Like, I know that even if we fall short today, we are a team together to rebuild that. Like, whatever that is, it's hard enough doing stuff out here by yourself. But if I have this teammate, this partner in crime who's got my back, we will come back stronger than ever. So I have no doubt that even when we lose, we're going to keep winning.
I want to tell you something
Yes.
really quickly
Yes.
before I let two even respond.
Okay.
You are very, very influential in
Oh.
all music. And I want to tell you this really quickly.
Thank you.
There's so many girl groups who, yeah, you hear TLC, Destiny's Child, blah, blah, blah. They're amazing. Not gonna get you wrong. We
Mhm.
love all of them.
Mhm.
However, there are so many elements of 3LW in a lot of these girl groups, specifically even with the new group Flow.
Yes.
A lot of their stuff.
They were literally saying that.
The way they pose, like even that whole red cover.
I mean,
like,
the red.
there's
I
a
was like, this
lot
reminds
of
me of
things
3LW.
purposely.
Yeah.
Because they're
I mean, I'm
influ-
flattered. Thank
you are very influential. So while you felt like that dream may have been like ripped from you,
Mhm.
the influence that you did in
It
that
lived
short
on.
amount of time continues to live on. In
That's
any
amazing.
girl group that comes out, their voices, their synergy, their
Mhm.
energy,
Wow.
it is a makeup of not only just the ones I named,
Yeah.
but also y'all as well.
Wow.
So keep that in mind anytime you think about,
Thank
man, like this dream was taken from me, or man, like
Mhm.
I'm still grieving this. Even if you are still grieving,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Grief doesn't have a time limit on it.
You're right.
However, you have done a lot of amazing things, and
Thank
you have
you.
made an impact beyond acting.
Oh,
That dream that you wanted when you were younger,
you're trying to make me
is-
cry.
It's the truth.
No, I appreciate that. And I didn't realize that. It's funny you say that because so many people, even now, are coming up to me as if 3W just happened. And they're like, girl, you don't understand what you meant for my childhood, or you don't understand all the girl groups wanted to be like you. And I didn't
Yeah.
know that then. And even now having a friendship with Adrian, and I'm just like, God is incredible. But to hear you say that just reminds me that no work is left undone. Like the work that I did, I still did something great. And even though it didn't go the way I planned, it all worked out. So thank you for that.
Of
That's
course.
so sweet. Ooh.
Tell me to, when it comes, right. We done got so
I'm
deep.
like, oh Lord. Okay.
Grieving losses, how do you feel like with your production company now, working with Naturi, even with your new series on Stars, the Nowhere Man, like how do you feel like now you kind of, I don't want to say recover,
Mhm.
but you've learned
Still-
from those grievances to now being in a triumphant place?
Man, are we in a triumphant place?
I know.
I don't.
We're not all the way there.
I
but
feel like
where we want to be.
I'm
We're high
still-
achievers though.
Right.
Like I judged myself last year, and I was writing in my notes of like, how did I score myself last year, and what like from all my achievements, and I gave myself a 30 out of 100.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Right? And people on the outside was like, no, you did this and this. And I was like, man, that ain't even half of what I was supposed to do, right? Like it's not. And so I think for me, I grieve hard, right? I think
Especially in
like,
business, he takes
in
it.
business,
Yeah.
even from early, like my early adulthood, from like things not going right in sports
Mhm.
and things like that, that was very tough for me to not, make it to where I was supposed to go or where I thought I was supposed to go.
Right.
And I was really grieving. I went through depression because of that. And then, some business things like, losing my first artist, Rara, to, some things out here to fentanyl, and Dope Boy Fresh, and, Bankroll Fresh, to him getting killed and things like that. I grieve all these opportunities that, was moments I was like, we're next, right? We're getting to this point. We'll be a household name and things like that. And then things happen and things get taken away. And even like coming to New York, like I wasn't supposed to come to New York and stay. Like I was actually leaving just to go back to run my nonprofit in Atlanta, right? And it seemed like I had to kind of grieve not being there for all those kids and things like that I had going through my nonprofit and going on my track team. Like it was very hard to leave them when I was raising these kids, like coaching them and being their mentors. And, that was even a grieving moment. And then even, after running this company here and it closing and trying to figure out what to do next, that was even grieving then. So I think for me, I just have a way of continuing, right? And figuring out how to keep moving forward even through the smoke, even through the fog. It's like, how do you take the right steps when you can't see what's next? And so, I try to make sure I keep the Lord with me. You know what I mean? I try to do things in the worst of times. Like I said earlier, like when I'm going through my worst time, I'll probably give the most. Like I probably do the most for others when I'm going through the worst time. And so, like, I think everything is ordained. I think I still do the same thing that I was doing since I was 17 years old.
Right.
I just do it in different circles with different people. And then even with the success that's happening right now, to me, it's like, this ain't it. This ain't even a scratch of the surface. Like I haven't even got the knife in the paint yet.
Right.
Like it hasn't even scratched the surface. And we grieve. Like and since we've been married and different business things, I grieve even heavier. Like when a business deal go wrong, like I internally take that on.
Especially as the man who's like
because it's the
household.
leadership.
The leader.
He
It's
is
the
the
leadership.
leader.
You know what I mean? So I'm like,
I should have did this.
I should have did this, because my job as her husband and a leader to the family is to protect us physically, spiritually, financially, all these things. So when something doesn't go right, I take that on full force, and so I do grieve those moments. And I think when I do go and grieve these moments, I come out stronger. I come out stronger, and I plan more attentively and move with more precision.
I will say this too before we get to the next question, because I heard this sermon like a few days ago. God purposely does things that we can't see in between before we get to where we are supposed to get to obtain.
Yes.
So right now you're in an in-between time.
Yeah.
Even myself right now.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
see
feel
myself.
like, all in between.
Yeah, I wish that I could be, Emmy nominated podcast series on the third, and I'm sure it's gonna come.
It's gonna come.
But right now we're in the in-between time.
Exactly.
So right now it feels like, man, like I haven't really scratched the surface, or like my knife hasn't even dug into it yet. Or you may feel like, man, like I haven't really like seen enough because I don't feel like I've gotten there yet. But the actual thing is like you're actually right in the best position, and you've actually already done cut a couple of things you may not see as you cutting.
I received that.
He's literally putting you in those positions to cut.
Yeah.
And even if you don't think this is the perfect cut that you deem as perfect, for him, this is the right cut to get to the next cut.
To the next.
So you already done cut a couple of things already. You're just in an in-between time, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're staying in the pocket. And the more you stay in the pocket with him, you will definitely get to the end where you will receive everything that you are hoping for and then some more.
You need to get you a pastor.
Okay.
Come on now,
We need this sermon series.
I'm saying,
Because let me tell you, that's a word, and you are really like pouring into us and interviews, and I do a lot of these all the time. You just never know what'll come out of it, but it's actually interesting. Like it feels like we needed to be here and have these. I didn't know what we were going to talk about. I saw your deck, but you never know what. Most of the things are just like, oh, tell us about your show, or tell us about. It's just kind of generic. This is like
nothing like the Ty Cole effect.
It's easy to talk about. Don't have to know where me.
The next Oprah, okay?
I hope so.
I mean, I remember I said it.
Don't
Don't forget me when you get there. It's like,
absolutely not. I just want
thank you for
people
that.
when they come here, like you're not like, yeah, we can plug this show, but that's easy.
No, of
and
course.
through it you'll plug it. But like I think people don't really get to learn who y'all are as people because they see a surface of y'all. They see social media, they have assumptions, and it's easy to just have things like that. So
And
for me, I want to
yes.
unpeel those onions and layers for people to see y'all.
You know
It's
what's so funny?
you say that.
Because
Just touch on something.
just recently,
We're just gonna keep it all the way real.
we're gonna keep it all the way real. Like recently, I asked somebody,
Family member.
could I borrow a couple dollars because I was waiting on this check to get deposited, right? And I had already lent this person money. And so the person already owes me money. And I asked for like half of it. I'm like, hey, can I get this? Because I need to cover this until this
Mind you, you're
comes.
supposed to get my money back anyway.
Mind you, should have already paid me back.
Right. In full.
And the person said yes. They said
Okay.
yes. So I'm like, all right, cool. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday came by. Say, if you don't mind me asking, why you need the money? Right? Why you need the money? I say, because like I said, I need to cover something that I need to handle.
Yeah.
You know.
I already explained it.
Next thing I know, but you and your wife are having a great time out the country.
I saw on social
I
media
saw on social media
that we posted
that y'all are
we were
having
on
a great
vacation.
time out the country. All right.
Mind you, can I just interject? We were taken to the Caribbean for free as a comp trip, as a celebrity type thing for the tour. So it's not like we spend any money, but people are like, oh, you just went, you just out here flossing. We're there on behalf of the tourism to bring tourism to the Virgin Islands. But anyway.
Correct. And then it's like, why do I have to explain to you why
I had a good
I'm having a good time, not knowing that, you know, the things I'm going through with my mom, and this was actually a little break from taking care of my mom to do this. But at the same time, it's like, why am I explaining to somebody I lent money to why I need my money back?
And I'm only asking for half.
Yes. It's not even the whole thing. Like, I just want half to cover something. I'm not even telling you and it's like, I have to do more. It's more trouble to get money back than it is to even make the money. Like, it's more.
But it's also how social media, the point that I thought was interesting is like people say, oh, y'all are just winning, you know, and I'm not saying that we're not, but I think because this interview feels like such full of authenticity, it's important to tell people like starting your own business or a venture like your own show or Take Two Entertainment really has been a true sacrifice. It has been work. It has been hardship. It has been struggle. It's some triumphs. But also in the midst of triumphs, we are investing in ourselves. And a lot of the money that we make goes into that. So people always assume, well, I just saw you got this new thing and they make, you probably do it. And it's so interesting. Social media and television or whatever they see can give maybe that person that didn't want to give you your money back or various people who see like, oh, you're doing good. Why you need help from me? Right. We're still human. We still need help. We still have struggles. We still go through stuff. So I think it's important to be honest with people that what you see sometimes on TV or social media isn't always the full picture or the full scope. So give us the ability to have vulnerabilities too. We have weaknesses too.
I always tell people that when they see me like, oh, you've interviewed Denzel, you interviewed Oprah, they'll name drop.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you think they gave me
like, did they hate
did they
think you suddenly got rich because you interviewed somebody?
Right.
Hello.
You see me with a photo, it's like, oh, you making money. It's like, oh, I probably only got $100 for doing something like that.
Oh.
So I think
because you're building. Because in this building stage, you don't always make money. So I think it's important that people recognize in production or entertainment, in any career really, when you're starting and building, you do things sometimes for free.
And it's a lot of investment, you know, mental, physical,
oh my gosh,
you know, financial, you know, I mean, we've invested in our own company. We've invested in other companies. We've invested in family companies and all this stuff, and still waiting on a return.
So it's a in between time is a really important thing you said, and I feel encouraged that when we walk through this fogginess, we're gonna come out on the other side like way.
And I'll be right there with a little cake.
Oh,
I did that. 2 cakes.
Hey, take 2. Hey.
Now, y'all. Specifically, Naturi, you know, you've healed in the public eye, which I commend you for, because doing anything in the public eye for me shakes me up.
Oh, really?
Like, I had a public breakup in college, and that shook me up. Like, he took it to social media, the whole campus knew, Temple's campus knew, like,
that's true.
So imagine you walking around and people just looking at you. I mean,
the whole world.
The whole world. You feel so bad. You feel so awkward.
It is a lot.
But the beautiful thing is, like, you took that and you healed with one member in Adrian.
Yeah.
And y'all really moved so many people with that.
I know.
Yeah, you really did.
So like people are like,
we love y'all so much that, you know, in our own
everybody wants us to get back together. They're like 3L Dub or 2L Dub.
Right. You know, and we're so happy to see that. So, you know, what did forgiving her change inside of you?
Oh wow. Change inside of what did forgiving her change inside of me. I think it was like a release, maybe. Even on when my ex group member Adrian was on the Rio, she had apologized publicly, but then also we've had just one-on-one conversations where I'm like, oh wow, you really do get what I went through and vice versa. But I think letting go and forgiving a lot of those issues that I went through has freed me up from trauma that maybe I was holding on to.
Yeah.
So maybe it's changed inside of me the ability of like believing again, like this lightness. I feel lighter, if that makes sense. It's like when you are still in the trauma or angry or not forgiving, it actually weighs you down. And even like talking about it in interviews now, I can laugh about it. Me and her were like doing the 3W routine. We spent Thanksgiving together with our families. And it's so funny because I'm like,
Double date.
I mean, double dates. Yes, people have been talking about that. And me, Adrian, and her awesome husband, Israel Houghton, who's an amazing gospel artist. And me and two just hung out. And it's just like, we're just being people.
Yeah.
But I think people see that and feel encouraged that it is possible to heal. It is possible to forgive. And you can move on. And when I think about that process for me, it really frees me up. I just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm probably like 10 pounds lighter.
I love this.
So it's nice.
We love to see that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna still wish for me to see you on the stage performing.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I hope so too. I want to see her perform because
You know what I'm saying?
I
Why?
got to see her.
Everybody
I got to
wants
see
it.
her perform. A year before last,
Mhm.
and that was like my first time seeing her on stage.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
in 92.1.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and she was singing,
I perform.
and I was just like, wow, like you're
I
so
love
talented.
performing.
Yeah,
I know.
And I don't think enough people know that or see that because they kind of forget. Like,
You performed a little bit on Power though. I think
I did.
Tasha had
a birthday and Ghost
Yeah.
was getting a text from Angie
Right.
while I was singing to him.
Sing your heart out.
But no, you're right. So it's funny that you say that, babe, because I think I miss performing. I miss being on stage. I sometimes think about like, what if 3LW did do like a little pop out on it? I mean, you never know. I never discount anything, but I will say,
But you would do it.
yeah.
I mean, I would do what makes sense at the time to do it within the time that we do it.
Let's get some new songs
That's
out. Let's
what
get
you
some
like.
new songs.
I mean, you never
Who the best
know.
writers out here?
I
Money
mean,
long.
Money Long.
Oh,
Let's
I
get
love
Money
her.
Long.
Come on.
Leah, who we just seen?
Leon Thomas, I love him.
Leon
We
Thomas,
need that.
Money Long.
E. Hudson, my good friend Eric
Eric
Hudson.
Hudson.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yes.
And
We,
Do
you
this
know,
album.
anything is possible.
Do you have like a top 3 favorite 3LW songs that you love?
Oh, I mean, I love our classics that everyone
Okay.
goes to.
Like what's your Mount Rushmore of 3W?
Probably, we'll see. Play's Gonna Play, the song that I sang, and of course, No More, Baby, I'm Gonna Do It. That was our first single, Play's Gonna Play. And there's a song that we did with Naughty by Nature.
Oh, that's a
It
big one.
feels good to you, good to you. We were featured on it. I just thought that was such a fun record. It was like a summer record, and we were like on the top. We just posted that. We were like on the top of the Billboard charts for weeks. And it was a big deal. And just because I also knew Naughty by Nature, because they're from East Orange, and
Right.
my brother.
Makes
So
sense.
they used to be like down the street from me. So I would say Play's Gonna Play, No More, Baby, I'm Gonna Do Right, and Feels Good with 3LW featuring, Naughty by Nature featuring 3LW.
Okay, I like that.
What about you? I'm trying to think and Curious was a good one. There was a little ballad. There's a few.
There was one on the original album that I really liked. Let me get
Yeah,
a check because I
think,
don't want to like get
Child, you
it.
might be able to teach me what I did because it's like another life. I forget what I did. I'm like, what song did I do?
Y'all did this record that I really liked a lot, and
Was
I feel
it,
like I should more than
Full
friends.
Force? I was gonna say, was it Full Force?
It was
Should
more
Be
than friends I
Than
liked,
Friends. Yes.
and then
That was a
y'all
good one,
also
too.
did "Crush on You" that I really liked.
Yes. I
There's
love
a
that.
few
That was
things.
actually supposed to be our single.
Y'all should have did that.
Crush on You was definitely this close to being one of our first singles.
You know, we can always run it back.
Yep.
I'm just saying. You know,
with
but
a new contract.
I was thinking with a new contract,
Gotcha.
okay, and then making sure that my girl is getting
Take care.
her time.
Take care.
I
Right.
was brokety broke.
Right. We need you
But
to
anyway.
be rich.
Thank you.
Okay.
Amen.
Now, before we end this segment, I want to ask you this last one. Now, grief, doesn't just take, it teaches. And obviously we all, including Dante, can relate that we've all lost a parent. And it's hard. I mean, I cry every day. I cried this morning. I cried before I got here. I cried in my mind.
You just get it
I
out.
break down. Yeah, like
No, I was like crying
break
just
down.
yesterday. Then I tell you, I literally just cried yesterday about my dad.
It's a lot because you hear them, you feel them, you see them, and people don't realize that like you just sometimes like your emotions take toll.
Of course.
So, what has losing your father taught you about tenderness, patience, and how fragile love can be?
Tenderness, patience, and how fragile love can be. I would say more so how fragile life can be. Losing my father happened very suddenly, and it was like kind of a shock. I just had spoken to him like the day before. And I think losing your parent, but particularly for me as a girl, fatherhood is so integral, like I was saying earlier, like how you feel love. So losing my dad has taught me like, oh my gosh, I had the best freaking father in the world. Like I think in that loss, it almost makes it more apparent how good you had it or have it, or
We reflect.
so you reflect, and I'm like, oh, that's what my daddy was talking about, or that's what he was trying to teach me, or all these little stories, because he was a talker and a storyteller. And I go back and I start thinking like, thank God that he instilled those values in me, like hard work and perseverance and not giving up. I was a straight A student, and my father did not play about education. Like in our household, it was like, you got to get that work done. I'm the same way with my daughter, who's in third grade, and also will be with True. We have a 2-year-old son. So I'm like, dang, I realized he was hard on me because he wanted me to be great, and I became great. And that is what it takes. So I think about that loss and missing being able to just pick up the phone and get wisdom from my father that only I think he could give. And then also about tenderness. I think there's moments, when we told our families that we were pregnant, I think about just like how proud my dad was. And there's a picture I posted with him holding, just his hand on my belly. And he was very big on blessing the children that came into our family. So when True was born in Zuri, he did the same thing with me because he was big on Roots. So I don't know if y'all know, Alex Haley, Roots came out like in the late 80s and 90s. But it was a huge thing in our household. So I'll just tell this story because even to this day, I was in St. Croix and I say things like, I found you, you old African, because I really believe like Roots had a big thing in our household. So holding up Kunta Kinte in the movie Roots is what Kunta Kinte does for his daughter Kizzy. And in Roots, he holds her up to God in the sky and says, behold, the greatest thing other than yourself. The greatest thing other than yourself is this: babies, children, being able to create new life. Every time I think about that, I get like full because my dad did it for me. He did it for Zuri. He did it for True. And before he passed, he like held True up in the middle of the street in Brooklyn. And I was like, Daddy, like, it's kind of, sometimes you think it's a little cheesy, but he was very, very, I don't know if it's superstitious, but very Caribbean, and blessing my children. So I think that tenderness and making sure that you give honor to God, you remember like how important it is to recognize that the miracle of being able to create new life is incredible. Like I've done it twice and I'm like, whoa. So my dad just reminded me of that. So yeah, I miss him daily. I miss him, but I'm proud. I speak of him in a way that makes me feel full, but not sad. Like even now, I could cry when I leave here, but I'm not going to cry now because I feel proud that I know he's happy. I know that my father was proud of me, and I literally feel a sense of peace when I think about that.
Oh, I don't cry, man. We're together.
Yeah.
I love that.
What about losing your
I
dad?
think with losing my dad, it was
So sudden.
so
Are you
sudden.
crying, Dante?
It was so sudden.
Are we? Y'all ain't bring no tissues.
I don't know. I think.
No.
What kind of interview with all these questions? Don't have a box of
I
tissues.
really didn't even
Right
think about it.
here,
I
a
was
box
like,
of tissues should
it
be
was in my
sitting.
mind to bring these tissues. I'm like,
And I had
don't
tissues in my
cry
purse
too
to make my
much.
knees any, but it's real. Sorry.
It is.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, just losing my dad so sudden because I spoke to my dad about proposing
Yeah.
to Naturi.
That was the last time.
And he was so happy and all this stuff, and he got sick the next day.
He got COVID.
He went to the He went to the hospital to get a breathing treatment because he had asthma. And while there, he caught COVID, and he never, left. And I was the last one to talk to him that night, and we were talking about, what he's gonna eat and like what he's eating right now and what we're gonna do and all this stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, well, I'm getting tired." It's like 12 something. He's like, "I'm getting tired." And next day, when I was trying to contact them, they were like, they put him in a coma. Induced coma. And I'm like, what? And then he never got out of that coma. So his anniversary of his death was just, a couple of days ago. And to me, I'm still grieving, and the further the years come, it seems like I'm losing grasp of my dad even more. And I feel like as the years come, I get further away from him. So I hate when the anniversary of his passing comes along. And on top of that, he was such a great father, and I feel like I got robbed. I feel like I got robbed. Like I didn't get a fair shot. And so my dad was young. Like my dad was young. My dad was in his 50s when he passed away. And I feel like, sometimes I feel a lot of regret or, like, did I wait too late to get married? So he, because he didn't get to experience this with me, or, he don't get to, my children don't get to have him, so it's like, should I just, been promiscuous and doing all this stuff as a kid so I could have had more time with my father, with my kids or whatever. I feel a lot of that regret. And then just the knowledge of it, like when I'm going through, man stuff or marital stuff, I don't have that sounding board anymore. You know what I mean? So as a man, I'm like, he was literally like my human GPS. And it's like sometimes I literally feel lost. And I could do so much and I could do all these things, but sometimes I feel like, dang, like, where's my guidance? Where is it coming from? I know it comes from God, but like, where's the sounding board when I can ask, like, how do I do this? Or, how do I navigate this? Or like with my son or with my wife or my daughter, how do I do these things? Or if I got in a bad deal, it's no one to call, That's hard. It's just, it's just a tough thing. And I'm still going through it. I'm still grieving. I'm still, trying to be strong because he was a strong man. Like my dad he wasn't the youngest brother out of his 7 brothers, but my dad buried his father and all his siblings, right? And he was the last one living.
They were all young.
And so for me, seeing how strong, and I've never seen my dad cry, I've never seen him cry. He always consoled us and made us know why, this is part of life and things like that, because he always had to take care of his family. And so, by that, I try to take some of that strength. I'm still super emotional. I'm a Virgo, super emotional, but I try to take some of that strength and some of that knowledge. But it's just a hard thing to navigate, crazy enough, funny story. My dad, I always tell people my dad named my grandfather. And people like, how did it happen? And my grandfather was left at the hospital because his dad was on the run from the police for having multiple families.
Okay.
And so, but his mom passed away
Mm.
after his dad left the hospital. And so on his birth certificate, his name was anonymous and just the last name.
Mm.
And so, yeah, so when my dad got old enough, because my grandfather couldn't read or write, he was a laborer. You know, he worked in the factories,
Yeah.
and so like my dad actually went to the courthouse and filled out the paperwork to name him. You know what I mean, the senior and stuff. So that was super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like I can't say I'm over it or I'm strong. I look at her strength, during these times, and I'm like so like motivated, by how they carry themselves and how proud she is with the relationship,
Yeah.
she had with her dad. And how fulfilled she is, what I mean, with the how much her dad was there for her. But at sometimes it's still sometimes I still feel like dang, I didn't get all that. Like I still got robbed. Like I didn't have that long with my dad.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel that with my mom.
Was she-
Before I get to the last question for y'all,
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like my mom will never see me get married. She'll never meet her grandkids. Like,
And that part, I see what you mean.
like
Yeah.
for me, it's like
Damn.
I could feel that way, but I also see this as God protected her because he felt like I could not protect her no more on this earth. So I had a serious conversation with God, and I'm very spiritual.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, if you feel like I can't take care of my mom anymore, and if you feel like my older brother can't do it anymore, I'd rather you take her and keep her in your kingdom safe and sound. And he gave me a dream. So the day my mom, she was just given up, and the person who was watching her
Yeah.
in the
Sure.
the place where like they rehabilitate,
Yeah.
she's supposed to have gotten out. She calls me bawling tears, and she's like, your mother wants to give up. And I was like, what do you mean? And I'm on the phone with my mom. She's like, Tyler, I can't do it anymore. My mom's went through 3 strokes, aorta dissection, a coma in there for a month when I was about to start 8th grade.
Wow.
She's had kidney failure. She had kidney disease and was such a fighter.
Yep.
And I was saying to her, I was like, what do you mean you want to give up? Like, we're strong.
Yeah.
And she said, Tyler, I can't. And I had to interview with this little girl for one of my outlets, and she was with her mom. And she was like, I love my mommy. Mind you, I just got off of a phone call. My mom saying she wants to get off and she wants to just give up. And I said, if you love your mommy, like, make sure that you tell her that every single day, okay? She said, I will. And I went to sleep, and I booked me a flight. And I had a dream. I was hoping my mom walk. And she said, Moon, Tyler, I got it. And she walked past me in the dream, and I couldn't see anything. And that was him preparing me, like, I'm gonna take your mom, sweetie. And I remember I was flying in, and she had a heart attack. And they still saved her. And I came in there, and she looked at me, and she smiled, and she couldn't talk anymore. And that was our relationship for the next week and a half, which is what he was also doing. Like, you'll never have this anymore, but you have to feel what she's saying to you, Tyler.
Yeah.
And I remember our last text message, she said, I would love you forever because you never left me. So the last few things I said to her was, remember you made me promise to never leave you, sweetie? I was like, I'm never gonna leave you. And I remember we were, I wish I did get some fucking tissues. I literally in my back of mine. We were talking, and on her last day, I held her hand, and her hand was getting cold. This is the second time I witnessed a dead body. My stepdad died in our house and collapsed in front of us and died in front of me. And I've never seen someone die so quickly. And I remember I said to her, I said, I know you're afraid, sweetie. Because she was really fearful of death. And I said, but you have to promise me something. I said, I don't know what happens up there because I'm not there yet.
Yep.
But just always hear my voice whenever you get afraid. And remind yourself there's nothing to be scared of. And in tandem, I will do the same thing down here whenever I get scared. And every time I get scared or if I'm sad, she'll do a few things. The color purple will flash somewhere. Somebody's wearing purple because her favorite color was fuchsia. Or she'll have one of my friends call me right before I'm about to break down. And she's like, I don't want you to break down, sweetie. You have a full life to live on here, and I set you up for success. And anytime you do feel sad, Tyler, remind yourself that you have a bigger purpose and me and God are watching. So it is very, very hard to lose a parent. But I want to tell you this, you don't have to always be strong. And I understand you as a man, like you want to be strong, and we all want to be strong people. And people say, oh, when you're grieving, like stay up and stay strong, keep your head up. No, because the reality is you're not going to have strong days all the time. And that's okay to feel like you're sad. That's okay to not have that strength because guess what? You're a human being. Doesn't matter what your makeup is, whether you're a man, woman, or in between.
So true.
You literally have to allow yourself to feel your emotions. And I say that because I do the same thing. I have not cried in over 15 years. And this is the most I've ever cried in my life. And it does feel like a release and a relief. And I feel her saying, let it out. And I feel her saying, be okay. And I feel her saying, allow yourself to not be so strong. So in moments where you feel like you have to be strong because you are a man, the one thing the society does not share is you don't have to always be so strong. It doesn't matter if you're a man. You're allowed to feel. And you as well.
Insane.
And I think what you were saying, you know, a lot of what you was just experiencing with your mom.
That's crazy.
Is what I'm experiencing right now. Like I literally just left my mom last night, holding her hand.
She had a stroke. I mean, this is crazy.
I'm grateful for you because you have been a great son to me. Because she just had a stroke.
And can't talk.
You know, seeing my mom, who's such a fighter and feisty, and do everything her own. You know, the oldest of 12 kids, be like this where she can't walk or talk or move on the right side. And
you literally experienced that.
Like
unbelievable.
What you was just saying is like, I've been with her for the last few weeks.
That's where you just came from to get to this interview.
Just holding her, being there with her, sitting there all day, 12 hours a day, 14, 16 hours a day, sleeping there every day, whatever it may be, just to make sure she doesn't give up. You know what I mean? Let her know.
Yeah.
She can continue to fight.
Yeah.
Because when you experience something like this that you've never been hit with before, it does feel like you want to give up. It does feel like an unknown pain, and it does feel like you don't want to live like this. And so, between me and my wife and my sister and friends who've stopped by, we've been trying to continue to motivate her
so that she doesn't give up. And it's funny that everything you said about your mom, that's what at one point his mom was like, I'm done. And that's, and I was like, but it's God's will at the end of the day. But we just want to encourage her so that no matter what happens, that at least your spirit is good,
Because you were there to help her.
Yeah, she knows that.
I'm thankful I have a wife that was able to be her advocate.
I'm her advocate.
Because she talks so much. Like my mom said, my wife talks so much that she don't advocate.
I be on it too.
Yeah, you gotta
y'all make sure you changed her. Is she fed?
Exactly.
Don't play with me.
Sometimes, you got to stay on it. But thank you for sharing that, because that's a very vulnerable thing what you shared, and you got us over here crying. But I just love that this was not what I expected to talk about today.
Right.
But I love that your show is with love, because everything that we do, and even said in your thing, is like to do it with love. And if we honor our parents and honor, each generation, hopefully we leave that footprint behind. And leaving that footprint behind is I think in what we do in our work, what you give back. Like this right here is, to me, your purpose and your give back. So I just wanted to say that to you. Like, you are literally living and breathing in your purpose. And I don't, I've known you, on the carpets and interviews, but seeing this and this experience today, it just kind of affirms that we're going to be okay, because we're feeling a little emotional. And also that seeing someone in their purpose inspires me, like seeing you do what you're doing through this and using your trauma or your pain or your mourning or grief and turning it into something purposeful. That's amazing. So congratulations to you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Sorry to make y'all cry like this. I
No,
was not
no,
expecting to cry
it's-
today, but
Oh my Lord. Next
Oh,
time you
yeah.
better know to have some tissues.
I know I'm gonna have 3 boxes.
Boxes just on
Four,
deck.
one for Dante. And we gotta wrap here. So let's end it here with this last one. So this one's called I lost my train of thought because I was over here crying. This one's called Her Heartbeat. Now this is where you kind of just like think about your heart and where you are right now. So my last one for y'all is this. Now, obviously you have a new series, Nowhere Man.
Yes.
Y'all both are attached to the project, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Executive producers.
What part of your heart is showing up in this role?
For me, I'm acting in the show The Nowhere Man, which is on Stars. And it's funny, this is a different character. Obviously, many people know Tasha. She's a
Right.
badass, kind of in your face. Ruby is so compassionate
Oh,
and she is very, very spiritual. This is the first time I think I've even had the chance to really play a character who is expressive about her faith. And it's funny, I think I needed that. Shooting the character of Ruby in the show, The Nowhere Man, was done in South Africa, and it really, even to recognize, it calmed my spirit. Like I'm usually a little bit, not
Right,
nervous,
right.
but I'm a little hot. What's it called? High strung or whatever.
okay.
I'm just like moving about because I'm
Right.
like, I got to get it done. But playing this role and what showed up in this character that I'm excited for people to see in this role of Ruby is this quiet strength, this calmness, and this kindness, but also grounded in spirituality. Everything about her, and no matter what happens, there's going to be some bad people, there's going to be action, there's drama, there's attacks. And she is like, very faithful that we will get through it and nothing can rock us because she's so grounded in her faith. She's spiritual, she talks quotes from the Bible. And so I got a chance to lean into that in a time where I think I really needed that. And different than a character, like I said, like Natasha, she's also very stripped down. And I think I'm at a time in my life where I think even this openness and vulnerability and is kind of me stripping down as Naturi too. Like, Tasha was very covered up. She had to, the hair, the makeup, the clothes, it almost acts as your shield in a way, or keeps everyone at bay, like, oh, I'm good, I'm good. And that's part of what I had to unlearn about, remember I was saying earlier, this whole, we got it all together, I'm a lady, I'm good. But then what about when you're not good? And I think through this new venture with Stars, I got a chance to act in the show and also as an executive producer with my husband, Take Two Entertainment actually brought the project to Stars. And, we're just thankful that they took it on. And here we are, our first official show that
First
Take Two
Amendment.
Entertainment has produced or
Premium cable.
on premium cable.
Love this.
So that has been a really good feeling. And it just again affirms that, like, okay, we're on the right track. So yeah, I'm excited for people to see this new show.
I love that.
Yeah.
This was so good.
No.
And you want to say too, or did she say it all?
She said it all. I think my heart shows up in this new project by supporting my wife. Right? Like I saw how good the project was. And I wanted to get more eyes on the project. I wanted to bring it to more people. I wanted people to see her in another way. And I think it's always a love letter to my wife, like making sure she
And
is
he really did
able to
push it along.
expand how she
Right.
wants to, and not only expand on screen, but expand in business, expand in our relationships. And it's just, I want to make sure she gets all her flowers in real time. And so I'm gonna work my butt off to make sure Take Two Entertainment does what we have to do, and then she gets everything she needs.
Thank you, babe.
This is a perfect ending. Listen, did y'all have a good time here today?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
man.
we had a great time. I feel like I owe you money for a therapy session. How much you gonna leave on the table?
Listen, look, you take whatever you want to do.
Oh my
okay?
goodness, a donation. Cause no, we had a great time. This
I'm
was fun.
glad y'all did. Listen, folks at home, make sure you're supporting No Worry Man. It is on Stars right now. And listen, keep supporting, okay? Take Two. They have more than just 2 projects
Yes.
that we're hoping for. And I cannot wait to see what y'all have coming up next, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so
Y'all
much.
do-